Hello, my lovely lot. Hello, my lovely lot is what I was going to say. Thanks for your response to my last video. It feels good to be back in the YouTube space. I'm just going to film myself doing a little bit of a makeup. It's Friday. It's actually not long to have to go and do the school run and go and get Bo Diana. That is Shiseido Ultimune, my favourite essence. And then we've got friends coming over this evening, so I thought, why not? I'm going to try, this has just landed on my desk, new from Naturium. It's the multi-peptide rich cream. It looks mega rich. Let's give that a go. I love a rich cream. I love the Skin Rocks, the rich cream. Oh, what does that feel like? Oh, it feels, when you first blend it between your fingers, it feels like, oh, what was that cream? Good one, Han. Ultra rich. It will come to me. There was a really rich body cream which would leave your body feeling so amazingly hydrated. It's gone. So that's unhelpful. But when you start massaging it into the skin, it starts to feel watery. When you start massaging it into the skin, it starts to feel watery. Oh, yeah. Well, I shall keep using this. It seems absolutely right up my street. Thank you, Naturium. And then for SPF, I'm going to do the Kosas. It's so lovely. This is the Dream Beam in Sunlit. So it's an SPF, but this one does have a little bit of a glow. So you see how it kind of has that slightly like beige tint at this point. Once you blend, you get a little bit of colour and a bit of illumination, as well as the SPF coverage, and it's SPF 30. My tech setup is about right today. I have just a little handheld light perched precariously on top of my phone because I actually can't find the cable for my usual light situation. And I keep checking I'm looking in the right place. The only thing that I struggle when my phone is landscape, which it has to be for YouTube, is that looking directly into the camera is very different than when it's portrait and you kind of look straight ahead. So apologies if my eyes are darting, but I promise I will get better at this. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I'm letting that SPF really sink in to the skin. I do like the finish of having it, I suppose, a little bit tinted. I can imagine in the summer on like really good skin days, I'll just want to wear that on its own. For now, I think we should dive into eyebrows just while I let that set. Good old Muji. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I knocked my tripod. Honestly, you'll be like, are you honestly telling me this woman started YouTube 10 years ago? And it is 10 years. How mad is that? I just don't do it enough as I should. And so I think since, obviously I kind of reintroduced myself in my last video, I realised this is the L'Oreal Skinny Definer Brow Artist in the shade Dark Brunette. There were quite a few things about my career the last couple of years that I didn't share. So I have, did I say I wrote a book even? I wrote my book, Makeup, very aptly named, which is a really digestible, easy to follow, step-by-step skincare and makeup application guide, I suppose. A bit of like a masterclass in beauty is kind of the strap line. I've dabbled in product development. So some of you here may have tried either my lip gloss, Perfect Pink, or my mascara, A Whole Lot of Lashes. I've had a great time co-creating products with the lovely Hilden. So some of you may have tried my eyeliner, Spiced Pecan. That was fun, wasn't it? Watch this space for some more bits and bobs. And then I curated an advent calendar last year with Oh McKay magazine, which was so much fun. And I've done a couple of kind of edits and stuff over the years. Remember, I did that John Lewis edit. I've done edits with brands. Just find it really fun. I really do. This week was a bit of a milestone because I got to work alongside Chanel Beauty at an event, and that was a real, like a bucket list moment. Never did I think, potentially when I started this channel all those years ago, that one day I might get the call to do something with Chanel. So delighted. Talking of Chanel, let's do a bit of Le Beige Healthy Glow Foundation in the shade B30. I'll do 2 pumps for now, and I'm going to use a Spectrum XKJH brush number 25 and just stipple that over the SPF. And I've got to say, even not everyone likes a fragrance, I understand, but even just the familiar scent of the Chanel foundation makes me smile. I absolutely love it. And look how even my skin looks. And that's probably one of the pumps, half of one of the pumps that I applied. I definitely don't feel the need for loads of makeup today. We'll just be keeping it fairly simple, methinks. I've got some of the Vive cream shadows to play with in the deeper matte browns. Can you tell I'm in a neutral space at the moment, my loves? So yes, we'll play with those. I'm also loving, obviously for cream shadow sticks, Bobbi Brown Cosmetics has a special place in my heart, but the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks are amazing. I used some recently for a filming project in the shade Cocoa. What was the other shade? It'll come to me, but oh my gosh, they performed so well. Typically, I gave them to said client, but it made me think I must get some in to use for myself. Okay. Ears done a little bit, just clean off me mummy's studs. Bless my sweet mum. For those of you new here, and I had a new people since my last video. My mum is no longer with us, sadly, but she was and always will be my main makeup inspiration. And I was talking this week actually to a friend about just how it was a makeover at our local Clinique counter in Cirencester that was such a major turning point in my mum's kind of everyday beauty routine. She was absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous woman, but just had a slightly dated makeup style, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But she was, you know, she loved her Dior dark green eyeliner pencil and her very dark kind of burgundy Chanel lippies, which, I mean, have their place, my goodness. But she went for this makeup session and oh my goodness, she just came home. Well, I remember I got home and she was already home, and the tones were all soft browns, like shimmering champagnes. And I remember it very well. Mocha pink blusher, which is sadly discontinued. Almost makeup number 3, also discontinued, which was a lovely tinted moisturizer. And yes, I want to say, was it Teddy Bear, that lovely kind of matte brown neutral eyeshadow palette? Anyway, it totally revitalized her. And yeah, I think that was one of the first moments as an adult that I realized quite the transformative power of makeup. Not necessarily just in how you look, but definitely in how you feel. And while I've been jabbering on about my sweet Ma and her Clinique makeover at Cavendish House in Cirencester, I've been using here the Chanel Low Beige Healthy Glow bronzer, and this is the shade Deep Tan. I absolutely love it. It works better on my skin than the slightly lighter tones, which on my skin are a little bit too yellow. Let's get me Pat McGrath. Apologies for the accents. It's Friday. They're clearly just flowing. There we go. A little bit concealer. Do I need it anywhere else? I'm often slightly reluctant to brighten my forehead, purely because I get a bit of texture there these days. Never used to. What is that about? It's one of those wonderful, joyful, she says, not really meaning it, aging wonders that I am discovering. Open pores, congestion, and the odd blemish, which I never had as a young person. I appreciate I was very lucky. Let's just blend that in. This brush is way too big, but I've started, so I'll finish. It's a brilliant brush though. It's by Zoeva and it's the Prime and Touch Up. But the good thing about brushes, hey, is that there are no rules, right? Brushes can have suggested purposes, but you can, of course, use whatever you want, however you want. Doesn't mean it's always going to work. For example, if you're trying to blend something really thick with a really lightly bound brush, that's not going to work very well. And similarly, if you try and blend out something really light and watery with a really densely bound brush, you're just going to wipe it all off. There we go. As always, finishing the blending with my finger. I think I'm going to do a little bit of eyebrow setting. I'm scanning frantically for my Sephora Fluff and Fix brow wax. I really like this stuff. It's quite tacky and just sets really well, unlike my Got To Be, which I also love, but the Got To Be is slightly kind of crunchier in finish, if that makes sense. I do love it though. It's a brilliant kind of all things setting down hairs fixer, whether that's flyaways at your parting or your hairline, or in this case, brows. There we go. That'll do for now. And then I'm actually going to do eyes next because I just want my base to settle a little bit more before we come to do blusher. So these are the two shades from Vive that I've picked up. So Coffee, lovely matte, and then Espresso, yeah, which I've definitely used before. So I'm just going to start taking, oh, that's nice, the Coffee kind of through, not quite the crease, but just through the top of my lower lid. When I talk about the crease, I normally mean that little bit higher, but that will do for now. Question is, how well is it going to blend? It feels, yeah, nice. I might have to kind of windscreen wiper this quite quickly before it sets. Oh, that's a nice tone. So it's a bit deeper than my normal kind of Bobbi Brown taupe, or say a Beauty Pie on taupe, or even Armani eye tint in cashew. Oh, a minute for the eye tint in cashew. It's one of my all-time faves. But yes, that taken all the way through the crease. I've taken it higher than I thought I was going to, but I'm here for it. What do we think? And then let's take the espresso. Oh, was that coffee? Yeah. Coffee and then espresso. Yeah, I can feel already applying this that the coffee is thicker and tackier, and that can often be the way with the darker pigments. So I'm going to do one eye at a time. Oof, to ensure I can blend. And I'm going to use this Morphe brush. It's called the Eye Packer. I'm sure this is designed for packing on powder pigments. I'm sure that's why it's called a packer. But today I'm going to use it to blend out this shade. Yeah, so that was the right call. Defo blend out the espresso one eye at a time. Yeah, I like it. I might not even need to use an eyeliner. What do we think? Let's do the same on the other side. So this time just keeping the espresso much more to the lower lid. And then I'll blend again. I've got a whatchamacallit, towel. It's in my brain. A towel on my desk. So what I have done is, as I've blended, I'm just wiping my brush on the towel. That means that I'm taking off any of the excess espresso shade before I go back and blend, just because I don't want to blend the espresso too high. And the joy of blending these sticks out with brushes is that then what you're left with is cream shadow that has been buffed out and kind of spread, so that once it's fully dry, actually it's not going to crease, which is one of the reasons why I love them. And actually when I'm working with clients, not always Vive, probably more the Bobbi Brown and Laura Mercier I talked about before, I generally speaking will always do a little bit of a cream shadow stick before I do powder shadows, so that there is something for the powder shadows to adhere to. So without putting anything else on the brush, I'm just sweeping what's left of those shadows along the lower lash line. I'm not totally convinced there's much payoff, but let's see. I don't want, it's Friday, I'm a little bit tired. I don't want to create too dark a lower lash line, but a hint of something could be nice. Should we curl the eyelashes? These are my trusty Tweezerman eyelash curlers. I went through my eyelash curlers this week, looking actually for my own Shiseido, and I can't find my own Shiseido, which is a bit annoying. Can't think where they've gone. Yeah, that's a good curl. Let's do the other eye. My lashes haven't been performing that well recently. Cheeky lashes. But I will use the new Armani mascara. It's called Vertigo Lift, and it's a bit brilliant. I'm a fan of a kind of comb. So you do have to be a little bit careful, because of course if you get a comb in the eye, it can be quite uncomfortable. But look at that for quick lashes. And what I will say is that this mascara is getting better and better. So I had the same experience with the new, I'll pick it up because it's in front of me, the new one from L'Oreal. It's gorgeous, but the first couple of uses it was a little bit wet. This one, the Paradise Big Deal. There have been a couple of launches from L'Oreal recently. I haven't received them, so I purchased that myself. and it's really lovely. But as I said, the first couple of swipes, it was a bit wet. I maybe wasn't completely impressed. But as the weeks have gone on, it's getting better and better. Funny that, isn't it? Right. Joy as well with this formula. This Armani mascara is, it's really buildable. So, you know, I could absolutely leave it at that. That's good top lashes. But let me show you. It works really well when layered. And that's just simply not true of all mascaras. You know, when you've tried to layer a mascara and the bristles just won't go through the mascaras that set, and the mascara that sets really like dry and crunchy. This mascara dries quite soft still. So you can indeed layer nicely for, you know, big impactful lashes. Takes me back to uni, where, my goodness, talk about layers. Oh, just keep going and going and going and going and going. That with mascara, I always used a Rimmel mascara until I started getting, for like Christmas and birthdays, Dior Show or a little Lancome Hypnose. Again, that was something that my mum introduced me to. I longed for those Christmas coffrets where you'd get a Hypnose, you know, and an eye makeup remover. There we go. Let's do a bit on the lower lashes. I really struggle with this mirror. I just want a taller mirror. Is that too much to ask? Because there seems to be a disconnect between kind of classic tripod height, mirror height. Do you know what I mean? Let me know if you feel the same. I'd be intrigued. I need to do a consumer survey. Hannah, are you wittering? Yeah, I am. But yeah, this bit I hate. I don't want to be looking down into my mirror to do my mascara. I want to be looking up. But hey. Righty-ho. Righty-ho, Joe. Let me get my blusher, actually, and see if I can see my eyes a bit better. Sorry, again, I noticed my eyes dashing. Okay. That looks okay. I wonder when I'm finished. Oh, did I get? Oh, I wanted to get my Chanel Boy lipstick. I was talking to someone about it on Instagram this morning. Rats. Next time. And when I've done the lips and stuff, I will see if I feel I need any more liner along the lower lash line. Let's see. I do just want to do a little bit of contour on my nose. This is Rare Beauty and it's the shade Gentle. It's going to last me literally forever. There's so much in here. But I just want to get a little bit to shade either side of my nose. Yeah, that's nice. Then let's blush. Oh, this is YSL. It's one of the new Make Me Blush blushes. And this is the shade 93, which is kind of peachy pinky with a bit of gold. It does give ever so slight NARS Orgasm vibes. But honestly, these blend like an absolute dream. That was so easy. I love them. And actually, I'm drawn to the kind of peachier colours this year, which is never normal. That's not normally like, I'm normally the pink girl. But I've been feeling the peachies. Just taking the last little bits of blush just through the centre. What do we think? That'll do. Heidi hi. Let's do a little bit of, this is Doll Beauty lipstick, lip liner in the shade Boy Bye. I do love these lip liners. I also love, I don't remember what lip liner I used last video, but the Huda Lip Contour 2.0s and the Kylie Cosmetics liners. They are just so soft. Hilden liners are really good as well. But it's funny, every now and again when I use a liner that's harder or you get less colour payoff, you're like, gosh, these softer pencils really are where it's at. Doll have had a rebrand though recently. I hope they still do this shade. Okay, and then for lip colour, let's do a little bit of, I did want to do Chanel Boy, but let's do Thanks, It's MAC. Which I do really love. I did a bit of a MAC neutral splurge at the start of the year when they did their nudes collection. And I'm really happy with it. Is that okay? Is there anything missing? What do we think? I think I'm just going to leave it at that. That's about right. Okay, my loves, have a gorgeous weekend. Nice to see you all again. And yes, I'll be seeing you soon. Any questions, as always, pop it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Right, lots of love.